Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Cloud the Tank once again. Right now, what I'm going to attempt in this video is try to do some more work on the Wurlitzer 3700 since the machine was working, and then for some reason, about a year ago or so, that the whole entire thing just died once again. So, as for some people that actually, some jukebox repair people say when these things, this jukebox model tends to break a lot, so, and I guess some people managed to get these things working thanks to my videos, and think of them as actually pretty good workhorses if you manage to bypass the BOAC system that's completely garbage. But one thing I'm going to attempt in this video is to replace these three guys here, which the manual and the Wurlitzer 3700 books don't really describe these things very well, and it's really frickin' stupid. Apparently Wurlitzer did not want to give too much information on these tracks, which is basically what they are. They're a track type transistor. Basically, they for this is just a guess, but the reason why these things are called track and not transistors because they handle at higher voltages than a transistor does, and plus these things basically act like a light switch, I guess you could say. Instead of electricity just going from NPN or PNP in either direction, these things just go with like positive. If enough charge comes in one direction, they'll automatically turn it on to go the other direction. So, but yeah, the old codes in the book itself are so old you just can't look these things up. So I try looking up the information and I don't get anything. So, and I don't know if many people actually have more access to some of these sites that actually give more detailed information on these tracks or not, but I couldn't really find much of anything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these three out and replace them with a different track, which I'm going to estimate, and hopefully it doesn't set this whole sort of thing up in Christmas lights or whatever, but hopefully this works. These are the new tracks that I bought. This is just going to be an experiment to see if these are going to work or not. There is a guy on Photoland that says that he replaced his and managed to get it up and running, and he called it an HD track, which doesn't really give much of a good description of what the heck he put in there for like what the value would be, but I'll show you the value of what these are that I bought. I went and bought these on Amazon, so, but, see, this is the exact same track, and apparently these things come from China, and this, Amazon doesn't really specify where these things actually come from, but, I bought 2-pack of these things in case I end up messing up or something like that. These are standard tracks, 600 volts at 25 amps. There is other ones that's on here, but I think the 25 amps might be good enough. I think there was one that was on here that was a little too low. Then there's another one that's really high. So, but it does show some on here. Like there's this one here that shows that's a 10 PC. So, yeah. And I guess there's another one right here that shows, but I'm not sure if this is a track or not because it doesn't really say much of anything on it. But yeah, so, but I'm gonna try to attempt to use this one here, and I guess its model number is BTA 24-600B, what I'm assuming anyway. So hopefully this works. If this actually works, and if the information down here is actually correct on how this thing actually works, then maybe everybody who actually owns a 3700 and a 3800, for as far as I know, they actually use the same type of control center practically. So hopefully for both of those models this actually would work, assuming that these actually function like they're supposed to. So, but So what I'm going to attempt to do, I'm going to attempt to take these completely off the heat sinks, which I'll have to first take these screws out that's holding them together. You can see, obviously, this one had to been replaced at some point, unless they just ran out of this one kind or something, but I have no idea what they were doing, but whatever. So, I'll let you know what the finished product looks like once I get these things removed, and also put some new thermal, because it's going to have some thermal paste to get these things to work right. So, I'll see you in the next video. Alright, I haven't put the new tracks in yet, but there's the 3 old tracks that I just pulled out. And there's this one, which has these numbers on it that the camera's not focusing on. What the crap? There it is. Those are they are. Q210L4. I believe that's what it is. Yeah. So, yeah, there's 3 of these darn things, so. I don't know if all 3 of these are junk or what the deal is, so I'm not going to even bother trying to test these, so I'm just going to chunk these out. So, now I'm going to install the new ones, and I'll show you when I get them in there. Alright, now the new tracks are now installed with the thermal paste. You can see the white around the outside of them a little bit. They're both put back in and also resoldered in each point. Use solder flux to help with the soldering for each of the points, so that way they're contacting the board and the chips. So now the last attempt is going to to install this back in here, which wouldn't be too problem because it only has 3 clips anyway, since the 4th one busted. Reconnect the 3 cables attached to this here, to these 3 ports, and put the sucker back in the Wurlitzer 3700 and cross our fingers and hope it works. Hopefully nothing else actually needs to be replaced in this thing. Because right now, for the most part, I pretty much replaced almost, I would say probably maybe about half of this thing. That's not including the wires. The wires have not been changed whatsoever, so, except for this holding that capacitor sitting right there, so. But, so far on this board, what's already been replaced, the 3 tracks, these orange capacitors right here, and these blue ones sitting right here. All of those have been replaced. So, and that's for the control center itself. The 2 caps sitting right here have been replaced. This cap's been replaced. All the diodes on here have been replaced, since the ones are looking kind of yellowish, and I don't know if any of them were working or not, but I decided to replace them all anyway, so screw it. And the circuit breaker, which I replaced it with a fuse holder, since I can't really find these darn things anymore anyway, so I just replaced it with a fuse holder. It seems to work out better that way anyways. They're these relays, well, circuit breakers, should I put it. Yeah, because apparently nobody actually carries these old breakers anymore, at least not that small for what I've seen, because I try to look at all, but no. Like local stores, and I can't find anything that small except for regular house electrical box. So, but yeah, for the most part, everything has pretty much been replaced. Some stuff in here, like the that big ass capacitor right there. And there's like I think it was like 2 more somewhere on there. I think they all should be fine. I'm not sure about the resistors at all, but hopefully they are not gone, so I just have to cross my fingers on those. So, I'll put this thing back in the Jukebox at some point when I get some time this weekend, since this is now Tuesday of June 23rd of 2014, so we'll get this thing loaded on probably Friday, I guess, if I don't have to work, so. We'll see ya. Okay, so we're gonna try this attempt to do something with this sucker. And since we know the Wurlitzer 3600 control center does not seem to work the way I want it, and I don't feel like rewiring the whole entire system, we're going to take this back out. These wires can be a real pain in the butt at times. Don't really clamp on, they just slide in here. Let's hold on by a screw up here. So now we're going to take this out completely. So now we have completely removed the Wurlitzer 3600 control center, which is similar to the 3700. Right, not much of a difference except for wiring. It's the only thing that's different. It's got less stuff in it or something. So now I'm going to attempt our 3700 control center once again and pray that it works. And I hate these stupid brackets. I'm going to take this and slide this on the holes. I don't have the screw for this, so forget it. Let's see. Since we have our Triac now installed in this machine, hopefully it should work. No guarantees. So. The fun part is going to be that. Since the socket for most of the stuff is busted anyway. Let's see. I don't think I got anything I can use to hold that sucker in. I don't know. Yeah, that screw holder, that's a good thing. Alright, so we're going to leave our fleece plate switch over there. And of course I already know the free plate switch is busted, and I have to find a way to. I'm going to have to replace that at some point, I guess. It doesn't slide like it's supposed to. And the spring is gone. Now the power switch for the jukebox is already turned, so now for the tracks I just now installed, let's cross our fingers and hope it works. Nah, this damn thing's going to go up like a Christmas tree. Or maybe nothing will work at all. So let's give it a shot. Alright. So far we don't got nothing cooking, I guess. So that's the good part. But and of course the lights light up on this, and that means the connection's on there right. This freaking box is warped as hell. So I guess now it's just a moment of truth. On that don't look too good at all. Don't look good at all. Give it a shot, I guess. Okay. That doesn't work at all. check this. The fuse is not blown, so what about this? Aha! I took my 8 amp fuse out. So we're gonna need to steal the 8 amp fuse from our Wurlitzer 3600. Which I think that one was missing one to begin with anyway. I took it out of there. So, let's, for safety precautions, we'll unplug this thing. Wait a couple seconds here. And we'll install our fuse. Find why nothing's working. Alright. Plug in attempt number 2. See what happens. Okay. I did hear a little bit of a noise. Which didn't sound good. Okay. Alright, so we definitely have something going on here. Alright, we're going to screw this done here. I definitely do smell something in here, which is not good, so I'm going to need to get a little light, and I'll be back.